going to talk about one of the simplest protocol that we are using for the network monitoring. Last week we talked about network monitoring, right? And this one going to be in the final, not final, sorry, in the midterm exams as well. For the midterm exam, all of you will allow 1 page of A4 paper, both sides write anything down, handwriting only, no printing, no photocopy. You can write anything down. 1 page, both sides. A4, 1 page, both sides. Or if you can write on the edge, if you can. Yeah. If you want, you can write on iPad and print on A4, but you have to submit the original files as well. I don't want you to copy because the reason is to ask you to review your knowledge. When you write it down, you review your knowledge. So it doesn't matter if you copy from the other one, so you review their knowledge as well. So it's another review. Okay, this morning we talk about the donor tool and the honeypot. So let me show you one thing, okay? Let me show you one thing. I'm going to go to this one. If you go to, oh, sorry. I'll show you some. If you go to our website, and after that, go to very end. And this is fun. I quite like it. To start for today, the canary token. So how many of you have known about this one? What is the canary mean? Small bird, right? That is going to sound very noisy. And token is mean real token. So it's basically, this one here is like the security checking technique that many of us may know or may not know. So how many of you know this one, the canary token? If you don't know, let me show you before we start the class. Okay, what I normally do, I'll click on the canary token. Okay, I select the token, for example, I want to go for the Microsoft Word, okay? And after that, I provide whatever, okay, whatever address or whatever email address that I wanted to be sent. Okay. And after that, for example, I create my token and I download the Microsoft file, Microsoft Word file. And after that, I open it up. Okay, I enable editing. So it's just normal file. I can save whatever file that I want. Okay. I have the problem with my mouse battery, so it's going to be a bit stuttering. So for example, I use normal file to keep my bank account, whatever. Okay, and after that, I saved it. I keep it in the Google Drive. So normally I keep like username and the password, so on so far some of my secret things. But rather than I use normal Microsoft Word, I use a small macro code that I put it at the Microsoft Word and used by the Canary token. It's generated by the Canary website, which is you can do it. Normally you can do it by yourself. And close it. Oh, I think it's in download. Yeah. So I change the name to, for example, rename. Ui. So I rename it to password. Okay. So whenever that the hacker come to the account and they see the file called password, so they click it, they open it up. Okay. So the thing that happened, I can show you here. I can show you here. You see, we said that, hey, the canary token was tricked. So when they say that, yeah, whatever by the thing that they write it down. So it's normally is the normal micro code that I put it in the Microsoft Word. So whenever that open up my, I call this one called the honeypots as well. So they access into this one first, right? And after that, they come to the thing called my username and the password. So they open it up. I know that now my Google Drive has been compromised already. So you can see that it's emailed it to me already. You can use this one. Check it out. It's gonna tweet every time whenever the guy, anyone open it up. It's really, yeah, even me. So if it was me, so I said that, okay, it's what me. So every time that any guy open up the Microsoft Word, except if they're not online. If they're online, it's going to send email. Sorry? Yeah. If the guy know, they have to go offline. But normally, for example, if I compromise someone Google Drive and I saw the file called username and the password, I download it into my computer. I normally not going to go offline immediately. I normal guy will open up it immediately. So it's psychology things. When someone open it up, it's with email. So I know that, hey, my Google Drive was compromised or my file has been opened up. You can go to the website and you can, yeah, I do have that one in my Google Drive as well. As Snmp, this is we call the honeypot in a coin. Snmp is the technique, right? This morning we talk about in order to that we use the honeypot techniques as well. So if you want, you can go to the canary token Or if you don't know where to access, you can go for your class website. Okay, let's just get back to the class. So we're going to start the class today. Okay, so the class today, we're going to talk about the simple network management protocol. It's just normal tutorial, which is going to give you a bigger idea of the definition of SNMP and how the SNMP work and the protocol of SNMP. But in this class, I'm going to spend like 1.5 hours or a bit more than that. But I'm not going to teach you how to write a real software. Yeah, when I was in University of New South Wales teaching master student, I asked them to write an SNMP software to monitor the toaster. You know the toaster, right? Camping Khanom Pang. Yeah, and control the toaster using these protocols as well. But your class just get you the definition and the idea of how it works. Okay, so let's just get started overview. So we're talking about some of the introduction, and one of the important thing which is called the MIB. The MIB is not a movie, not a manual back. It stands for Management Information Base, which is the one we can find it. For example, if I'm using Cisco and I have the SNMP management, if I want to manage the Cisco system, so I download the MIB, which is the information of the data that I can manage the Cisco router into my management software. If I want to manage normal PC, which is Windows do have SNMP inside the window. You just activate it, and they have the standard MIB for the window. So basically, is the information telling you about what feature or what parameter inside the device that you can manage and how to access into that parameter. Okay. The next one, we're talking about the protocols. Okay. Which is we're using 161 and 162. I think 161 and 162. Okay, for the port, UDP only. Okay, and some of the command, this is we can download the tool if you want. You can download the MIB browser or MIB tools. This is basically if you write the program, it's API out there for any development. Java, they integrate SNMP inside the Java already API, which is included. C++, yes, you can do it. So the SNMP nowadays, okay, it's using TCP base, which is running on UDP. We learned about the difference between TCP and UDP already, right? UDP just send it. You don't even care if the receiver can receive it. So it might have some packet loss, so they might keep sending time to time, like a signal in time to time or the heartbeat time to times. And it's running on 161 and 162. The normal port that they use for communication is called 161. 162 we call the threat port for the urgent whatever happened. We talk about that one too. Okay, now today is SNMP version 3. Sorry for this one, I can change it. It's been developed for a long time. So why are we using SNMP? Yeah, basically, we use that one for example, configuration management, fault management, performance management. We use that one to monitor almost everything. So we normally can monitor almost everything of the network devices. all of the Cisco and Huawei network equipment, they provided SNMP. It's up to you, you want to use it or you don't want to use it. The Windows has an SNMP module already, but you have to install and enable it. But it's provided by Windows. Some of the company, they use SNMP to control and manage the computer room. For example, we have Thai company, this is called StarCat. It's based on SNMP and we sell the software for the computer rooms for many schools in Thailand as well. They normally can manage. Normally, long time ago, you have to put some of the protection card. Nowadays, all software based. This is you can remotely install the software in every computer. You can remotely delete the software on every computer, or you set it back onto the initial state. So, do we have the other network management or network monitoring tool? Yes, of course. But there are factors that made the SNMP succeed for more than 20 years. The first thing is standardized. It's standard now. It's common for almost every network device, except for very, very cheap Chinese router. This is cost like 500 baht, 1,000 baht. They might not include it. You have to refund the firmware for yourselves. Okay. Second thing, extendable. Yeah, of course, we can start it from small and extend it. SNMP has been designed that it can be extendable and small, very, very small. And the protocol is free. It's free. The major function that we use in MP that we can do like configuration management. So you can remotely into any computer in the computer lab and you can remotely config. You don't have to work into every computer in the computer lab. Okay. You can do the fault management for example, if something happened and you cannot connect to the computer, so it can notify you that, hey, this computer in the lab or this router on the network has been disappeared. It's disappeared. Okay, including the security tool nowadays, but for the security, the SNMP not tell you that much. So it's normally provide the monitor for many parameters within the network devices. Okay, the asset management, okay, yes, of course. You do the asset, you know, the hardware on the network. Okay, let's just get started. For the history is 1993, so on and so forth. Yeah, not going to talk about that much history. We lost almost an hour within and waiting and talking about the other things. So I'm going to speed up a little bit. So from this one here, the SNMP is going to be on the layer 6 and layer 7 only. So it means that it's represent itself on presentation layer and the application layer. So they normally run on and using UDP or the other thing doesn't matter. So for the SNMP protocol itself is application and the way to present the data structure of the parameter inside the device that you want to monitor. It's just that one. We're using the data structure the way that we present the data structure of the data parameter that we want to monitor using the ASN1. We talk about that. That's the syntax notation number 1. As I told you, it uses UDP port and it just read the message from port 161, okay, for normal message for communication, but for text message, it's urgent notification or urgent warning on 162. Okay, let's have a look at the component. Okay, let's have a look at the component. I can show you this one. You can have a read, okay, or with inside the web, the class web, I start to write as the topic like a book chapter already. So you can download the Microsoft version or PDF versions as well of what that I have explained today. It's like a book chapter already. I don't want to integrate it into the book, too lazy. So let me show you. Not this one. This one here. So is like what I'm going to say today. So I write down a lot of things inside this one. So if you want, you can have a look by yourself later. Okay, we can download it. Doesn't matter for me. Okay, let's just get started. I'm gonna go back. There are mainly three components, three key components for the Snmp. The first thing called manage device. So it means the device that you want to manage. Router, switch, notebook, air conditioning, host, rice cooker, whatever that you want to monitor. So we call manage devices. The second thing we call the agent, which is agent is normally is the software that you normally install with inside the managed device to read the parameter or the value that you want to monitor. For example, inside the server, the memory left, the memory consumption, the hard disk space folder left, the hard disk space folder. So CPU will load, memory load, power consumption, whatever that you want to monitor with inside the device. The server I experienced one of the Microsoft mail server in one of the company that I was the consultant. They use the Microsoft mail server for their mail, the business mail. One of the thing is it's not really just really the Microsoft. Okay, I don't think it's their fault. One of the thing is whenever that your company mail server receive the mail from outside, you're going to need the hard disk space to save the data. Okay, and after that, the user will come remotely come. They might use their client for the mail server, Microsoft Export, or they might use Microsoft Mail for the client, or use normal browser to come to this mail server to check their email. One of the things that the admin didn't realize is, you know what? the hard disk quota or hard disk space level. So during that time, the mail server did not have any warn that, hey, the hard disk space is not that much already, or it's very low already. So what happens if you don't have a hard disk space left? Whenever the mail come in, the Microsoft mail server will try to save the mail into the hard disk. If your hard disk space is full, it's going to reject and send a message back to the sender that, hey, the quota is full. This might mean the user quota or the hard disk quota. So now the problem is happening because your mail server cannot accept any mail at all because the hard disk is full. And what I find out that, yes, first thing, the mail server, during that time, they don't have any mechanism to notify or warning the load state of the hard disk. And even though they have the Snmp, it's actually the admin didn't set up the Snmp properly to check out the hard disk quota and send back the tab to notify or to warn the admin that, hey, the hard disk space is very low. And the third thing is more than 50% of the mail server hard disk was occupied by junk mail. This is serious. So we find out that, hey, 50% of the hard disk space was occupied by junk mail. It's real junk mail. So during that time, we replace or we extend the hard disk space, okay, for bigger, and we buy the junk mail filter. So it's better. Junk mail is one of the very, very hazard. Whenever the junk mail come into the mail and is occupied hard disk quota or space until it's full, now your mail server won't work anymore. It's really rejectable. Okay, so the agent is basically the software that we install inside the device. And the last one, the network management system, which might be the software that you install on the admin console to monitor, okay, and to notify whatever happened. You might set that one to the admin mobile phones as well. So it's called the network management system. I explained this one already. So you can see on this photo, this is managed device. This is the agent. We keep monitor the managed device and create the database with inside the agent. So whenever the management system want the data, so it talk with the agent will query the database that they build up, whatever the parameter that they monitor and send to the network management system. It's just really three components, okay? If you write the software, there are only three standard commands for the Snmp. We call read. What is the read? So we read the data from the database, right? Query the data from the database. Write. We write the data back to the database. And trap. The trap is normally as it say, so we can set up the tapping, or we normally can set up some of the threshold. For example, if the hard disk space is less than 20%, if the hard disk space is less than 20%, the tap will trick. So it means that whatever the trap that you set it up is going to be a warning message. So for example, the thing that I told you, we set up the trap. If the hard disk space is less than 20%, the trap will trip and the message will be notified by port 162 to the network management system, and the network management system will send the message to the admin mobile phone that be careful, the mail server hard disk space is less than 20%. You know what? Whenever the server go down, it's the admin nightmare. You know what mean the nightmare? At the midnight, hey, what happened with the server? 5 in the morning. What happened if the hard disk is right? 7 p.m. Pick up the phone. Hey, what happened? So it's always admin fault. It's the nightmare. I stopped to do the admin. I don't want to pick up the phone all the time. Hey, what happened? The computer is not turned on. The admin will to the computer. Yeah, you forgot to plug it in. Yeah, it's been many times that the admin talked to me, this company admin. Yeah. What happened? Why the computer is not turned on? Yeah, of course, you have to turn on the power bar first. Something like that. Okay. So the basic thing is read, write, and type. Okay. But if you're talking about normal API that we might use, for example, for Java or for C++, they do have like 3 walks. They do have like download the whole table, which is they use normal and create more complicated to download the whole tree data or the whole table rather than read for each parameter on the table to download the whole table as well. Okay. So the normal language, which is logical language that we use structured management information by using the ASN1, the abstract syntax notation number 1, with the BER, the basic error encoding rule, normal structure encoding, to create the data structure that we want to monitor. Let's have a look of the example. How many in this loop have learned the ASN1? How many in this have learned the basic encoding rule? No. How many in this room have learned data structure? You might have learned many of them, but you not remember the name. Okay, so we create the data structure. Let me show you some example. The ASN1 is normally the logical language that we define, which is C and C++ and using ASN1 logics as well to create data structure. For example, most servant alarm is integer. Okay, so type this type is integer, or you see this. How do you call this one in C? This one is one of the data structure, right? So error count is the sequence of circuit ID, which is object string. Error in second is integer, unavailable second is integer. And close data structure are defined using sequence this word. So this one is type of ASN1, which is very similar. It's actually C follow ASN1 too. So we using this one to define data structure of the Snmp. This is normal basic that you learned it already. Okay, this one is example. So now have a look of the data type. We do have the integer, which is we use 32-bit integer, and version 3 we use 64-bit already. Okay, we have object string, we have object ID. This is important because when we design the data structure, we have to define object ID. And we do have the other thing knows. It's like the C IP address. Now you can see IP address now is the variable is the object string. See, we define any variable counter, unsigned, integer, so on and so forth, data type. Okay, we do have data types as well. Now, the data structure of the variable or parameter or that we want to monitor, and we keep it into a text file. This is using this one to define it. See the data structure, and normally we keep it into the text file, which is normally we use the last name as .mib, which is we call the managed information based file. Inside that file is normally the text string that using ASN1 to define the data structure of the data on that Cisco router, for example, parameter the whole thing that we want to monitor. And the agent will keep that with inside the small database or small text file in the router. So whenever that the management information-based system want to access, they need to know the data structure, right? Of the data that keep within that managed device. So that managed device, they normally download the MIB file into the management system base to make it be able to understand of what that they keep it into that one. So basically what we say is the management information system is the software. So whenever the Cisco router categorize Series 8, okay, I want to manage it. How can I manage it within inside my normal management information base? I might use the HP managed base. But the thing that we need, we just ask the Cisco, which is here provided already, give me your MIB file. So the Cisco router, normally they provide for free, you can download the Cisco this series MIB file. And in the MIB file is the data structure of the data that you can read, write, or track. So this MIB file, you just import that one into the text file into the managed information base. You just import into the admin computer that you install the network management system base. So whatever product that is issued into the market, they will provide it. If they provide Snmp support, they will provide the MIB file. And this MIB file is the standard. So any management information, the management information system can just upload, just call import this text file MIB for the Cisco Series 8 for the Huawei, whatever. You just and the NMS, the network management system, we understand the data structure that he can manage on that device. Now you understand the technique, right? So normally, the agent will do the monitoring. The network management system will need the MIB file, which is represent data structure of what the agent are managing, and upload it into that one, which is the standard. Now they understand the data structure that they can manage. So that one we call MIB. So basically, they're saying that MIB is the collection of information that organized hierarchically. The MIB are accessed using network management protocol, Snmp. And once it write it using the ASN1, so it's called, it's like an object which represent every object ID. Let's see some example. There are two standard type of the object. For example, the object ID of Cisco uptime or the object ID of Cisco IP address. If you want this router Cisco IP address, rather than you say that, hey, give me your IP address or give me your uptime, you say that give me this object ID. They will reply to that. So you say that give me this object ID number. And the number will be represented in MIB file. So there are two types of the object ID called scalar and tabular. The scalar means a single object instant. System uptime, 345 days already uptime. Okay, memory left, 16 gigabyte memory left. Hard disk space left, 10 terabyte hard disk space left. So the scalar object is in one single instant. How about the tabular? It's the table. We're talking about C programming. We do have data structure, which is one single, right? Called scalar. And we do have the thing called the linked list, or we can do the table, right? It's the same. Okay, it's the same. Can you give me some example of the data structure of the table? IP address of the router. The router have to cover this leg on one subnet, this leg on one subnet, this leg on one subnet, this leg on one subnet. So one router can have many interface on many subnet, right? Its interface will have their own IP address, right? So it's going to keep as the linked list on the table. So it's the turbulent. So it's not single object, right? So give me your IP address. We're going to send the list table of IP address of this router. But this one here, you have to say, give me this object ID. Rather than say the word, give me your IP address. So it will represent as the object ID number. So let's just go for some example. If we want to define the new object ID, for example, I want to define the object ID called system contact. Okay, and the object type is, this one is the structure. This is display string 0 to, it can be the size of 255. Okay, the answer is mean I can read, right? Okay, the status is mandatory. This is I can manage it. And description, computer network. Okay, and this one, the object ID is go after system, and I name it number 4. Give you more example. Same thing, breakdown. System outcome, object type, syntax time trick, asset read only. System uptime, I don't want the user to write, right? Status mandatory. Description time since the network management portion of the system was last boot or initialized. And the ID is after system and the ID is 3. Now I specify the object ID. So this one here is description that I explain. So what is it, that one? We have to go for the beginning. Every MIB nowadays, they start from point 1 as a starting object ID, which is mean ISO. I don't know why I have to come with the ISO. International Standard Organization. It have to be Thailand Standard Organization too. Okay, so this one comes point 1. See, object ID point 1. I point it here. I don't have the mouse. My mouse battery go dead. So we start from point 1. Point 1. See point 1. Point 3. Point 6. Department of Defense. And everything that we are based on Internet IP. Point 1. So you can see that normally the object ID of the thing will start from point 1, point 3, point 6, point 1. See? If we are using anything based on IP, doesn't matter. And we use that one for management. Point 2, you can see that point 2. MIB version 2.1. Point 1. System, you can see this one. System. Point 1. See, it's like the tree of the data structure. And I'll go back. The system uptime, sorry, here is going to be point 3 after the system. So what does this mean? It's going to be point 3 here. Wait. Point 3. So it means that from this one here, I create a new object, which is called the system uptime, and after the system, and I name it point 3. So when I want to, oops, this one, so it's going to go point 3. Yeah. Define the new one.เอ้ยผมไม่มีเมาส์ยิ่งยากเข้าไปใหญ่เมาส์ก็ยังยากเลยอ่ะ point 3 so point 3 is here. So now if I want to get the system uptime So what object ID that I have to send? I have to say read object ID 0.1, 0.3, 0.6, 0.1, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1, 0.3 is need the number. Now I can get the system uptime. Very simple. This one here, I do have the Cisco, which is 0.9. Cisco use the management as the private, so it's going to be 0.1, okay, 0.3, 0.1, 0.4 rather than 0.2 here. Because Cisco following this one too, but they use their called private company, and the Cisco have their own whatever. So from this one here, you can see that the system is 0.1, right? So we create more that we create system. So the system uptime is 0.3. See that we create the new object after the system and name it 0.3. Okay, the system contact 0.4, which is I show you here 0.4. See the system contact. You can go back a bit. So basically, when we want to write the interface or MIB file, we just use this code to write it out. It's all text file, you can have normal read, but in this text file, your network management system will be uploaded and make your network management system understand of what parameter that you can manage on that managed device. Okay. Okay, this one is some of the example. If we want to go further and do some of the programming, we do have to understand this one here, for example, the interface. See, 0.3 here system is the interface that I told you. The interface can be a table because one router can have more than one interface, right? Not a single instance, but the turbulent, which is it can be index number 1, number 2, number 3. So with that one, if type 1, type 2, type 3. Okay. I'm not going to go for the programming. It's just like when you control C with the table or the linked list. And with this one, every one that's saying that they support Snmp version 1, version 2, or version 3, they're going to use this standard. That means they can talk to each other, even though they are come from different company, because they have to follow the standard. If I have the Cisco router here, I have the Huawei router here, I have the HP network management software system installed. So if I want to manage Cisco router, I have to say, hey, give me your MIB file. Huawei, give me your MIB file. And this MIB file will be generated, as I told you, it's normal text file using ASN1 to represent the data that they can manage on that particular devices. Normal manufacturer will provide us MIB. So I just import the MIB file and name it. This is Cisco router number 1. This is Huawei router number 1. Now I can configure, okay, start to query the data every 5 seconds. Normally I said that query the data every 120 seconds, but it's depends. Okay, so every 120 seconds, read this object ID, read the whole table, write the thing. Normally I read the data because the memory that we keep in this Cisco router or Huawei router or normal, we don't have that much space. That's why we read the data and keep it into the network management system database. And now we can build up our assets and we can monitor our assets as well. Okay, but many software, especially the software that we buy it, you don't have to buy it, you can find it free on the internet. Or if you want to program, they provide us more API interface. For example, they have Snmp walk, C++, and Java API Snmp. They have Snmp walk. So what is Snmp walk? Snmp walk object ID. So if I say object ID 0.1, it means they're going to walk through the whole tree. So it means it represents the whole tree. But if I need like system 0.1, 0.0, 0.1, 0.1, 0.3, and I just walk. So every under they will download the whole data. So walk is means tree walks algorithm normal. But the standard they provide just a read, right? But when we use walk, they provide the whole tree data, and we can have the whole data and keep it in database. But the walk need input as a MIB. They need to understand the structure of the tree before they can walk, right? It's the same. So we have walk, we have download the whole table. They have a lot of API that we can use. And of course, rather than text file in GUI, there are a lot of free MIB browser GUIs for you to download. But they're not going to keep the data that they can download into the database and do the analysis. Okay. They have get this one here. I think is from the C#. You know the C#, right? C# is what? C# is what? You learned the C# already, right? But you know C# and C++, right? They're different. You know Java, right? You learned Java already, right? Java is Oracle pattern, and it's saying that it's free for everyone to use, but under Oracle standard. You know Oracle, right? Long time ago, Microsoft said, okay, Java is Oracle standard. And they have C++ already, Microsoft Studio C++. So they want to integrate the Java. Now they integrate the Java and C++ in the Microsoft Developing Environment Studio. And they put a lot of API, and they call that one as Microsoft Java for almost 5 years. And if you write the software using Microsoft Java, it's going to be Windows only and Microsoft brand only. It's not going to be as the Oracle thing that one can run many, like the Java. You write and you can recompile to run for Linux, Macs, whatever, PC. But if you're using the Microsoft Java is going to be just read for the Microsoft machine. Now, what happened for 5 years? The Oracle sued Microsoft that, hey, this Java name is have been under control of the Oracle. After 5 years, Microsoft lose the case. Okay, I'm not going to use Microsoft Java. I use C#. So basically, C# is the Java in the Microsoft term. But basically, it's good. Now they claim that they can compatible with the Java. So they just change the name. So this one here in the C# and the Java as well, that they have, rather than they use the name read, they call get. Okay, and they provide get next. So it's the TWalk and the next object ID. Get next, get next, get next. So rather than you have to change the object ID number, right, on the TWalk, so you can use get next without any object ID after get. So they will get the next one there. So they provide a lot of API interface for you to be easy to use, like walk, get next, so far. I'm going to script the programming technique for your class, okay? But you have to know that they do have this command for the programming API, like get next. But normally we have 3, read, write. But in Java or C#, they use get. Okay. The trap, the last one, is standard. As I told you, for the trap, this is my 5th of the years. I still don't like it. I have the problem with my eyesight already. สายตายาวเขาเรียกว่าสายตาคนแก่แต่ก่อนล้อเพื่อนๆอยู่ ตอนนี้เป็นเองแล้วโดยเฉพาะอย่างยิ่งเพื่อนๆอาจารย์ที่อายุมาก แล้วผมก็ใช้แว่นอันหนึ่งซึ่งมันเป็นยี่ห้อที่ผมใช้มาก่อนแล้วมันชินมาก แล้วเวลาผมเขียนโปรแกรมบางทีผมทำวงจร มันเป็นนิสัยเสียที่ผมจะเอาข้าวไว้ที่ปากมันก็กัดจนเละแล้วตัวแว่นผมก็ไม่ได้ระวังเพราะปกติผมดำน้ำผมเป็นครูสอนดำน้ำของพาดี้ด้วยแต่ผมเลิกมันจะขี้เกียจแล้วดำเล่นแล้วไม่สอนแล้วของเรามีที่ชุมพรไงจันปอนเปิดจันปอนครับจันปอนคนเปิดเดี๋ยวค่อยว่ากันผมก็ไม่ได้ดำน้ำมาหลายปีแล้วแต่ก่อนผมเป็นครูสอนรุ่นแรกๆเลยของพาดี้เลยผมก็จะดอกไอ้ตัวนี้มันก็เลนมันก็จะพังเพราะมันไกลมากปีนี้ผมทำแว่นมาตั้งแต่ราคา 7,000 4,000 5,000 อันนี้เพิ่งซื้อมา 1,500 อันนี้ซื้อออนไลน์แม่งก็ยังสู้อันนั้นไม่ได้สงสัยต้องเอาอีแว่นนั้นนะไปที่ร้านแล้วบอกจะเอาแบบนี้รุ่นนี้ยี่ห้อนี้สีต่างกันก็ได้เลนส์ให้แม่งเหมือนเก่าแม่งนี่5 อันแล้วเนี่ยอันนึง3 4แฟนผมบอกทำแพงๆมันจะได้รู้สึกดีใส่ไปไม่ได้ผมชอบใส่อย่างนี้อันนั้นน่ะแม่งเกาะอยู่บนหัวอันเนี้ยเดินไปแล้วแม่งปุ๊บทุกอันเลยไม่มีอันไหนเกาะเท่าอันนั้นเลยโอเคคัมแบ็คแล้วผมก็จะวางไว้แล้วเดี๋ยวแม่งจะหายเหมือนอันเก่าผมทำแว่นหายบ่อยเคยลองแล้วไม่ได้รำคาญโอเคครับcome back for the chat so as I said what is the track mean in Thai yes it's normally is something like a threshold warning we set it up for example you normally set up a trap to monitor the hard disk quota if the mail server hard disk quota is less than 10%. This is threshold is 10%. or less than 500 meg or less than 100 meg, whatever, you can set it up. So if the threshold is 3, it means the track is 3. So you will send a message port 162 as a warning message to the network management software or the system. And this network management software, it can do whatever. Sound alarm, send the message to the admin mobile phone, so on and so forth. Hey, email address, email server, the hashtag quota is less than 100 meg. If you're not doing anything, I have to reject the email server will reject if they cannot save something in the hard disk. It will reject the incoming mail. So it's called the tag. Or you can set it up if the memory resource is less than 1 gig. You have to sound alarm on the server. This one here is quite good to monitor the new installing software. Why it's good for new installing software? For many companies, long time ago, I don't know nowadays, they might better, but long time ago for many companies, big company, instant software is not work properly for the company. So normally they will hire an engineer or a programmer company to customize a software for their company. For example, the company that I told you about the hard disk. So they have their own accounting management software, which is tailor-made for their company. But you are programmer, you learn the programming already, right? You learn C, right? So normally when we do the programming, one of the big problem for last 10 years programming is talking about resource management. If you do your project for 4th-year project to graduate, you come up, turn on the server, turn on the client, you connect to the server, talk with the client. Hey, okay, the future is work. That is okay, just for the project. But to make it really work, you have to turn it on for 1 month and play it for 1 month and check your program for resource management. What I have found for many years is the resource management for this outsourced tailor-made software company. They hire like new graduate to make some module, and this new graduate, they're not properly taking care of the memory management. What does this mean? Install the software, test run, pass. After 1 month, pick up the phone. I don't know what happened, why the server is too slow. After a couple of days, hey, the server have to be rebooted, it's not respond anymore. After 2 or 3 times, the company reboot the computer, hey, it just works just normal. But after 1 month or couple of weeks, slower, and hang, reboot, come back. Normal thing. 90% what I have filed for this tailor-made software is mean they not properly manage the memory. When they ask for the memory, we call what? The memory allocation, right? And after that, they forgot to turn it back. We call what? The memory leak. So if it leak like K or byte or memory leak for some of the variable, it might take 2 months before it's consumed the whole resources of the memory. If you have like the table or bigger inside that you do the memory allocation and you forgot to turn it back for that for that vulnerable, it might take months or weeks. But if it's small one, it might take 2 months, 3 months. But most of the time, running for week, 2 months, month, and after that, getting slow, and hang. Memory leak problem. It's the problem of programmer and the programming skill most of the time. So this one here, the track can be used to check it up if the memory is going down, just normal memory leak problem. So if you can say that, hey, if the memory is less than whatever, send me the whole thing of the memory monitor. You can see that the memory will go down until it's almost consumed all of the resources. 90% is programming fault. You allocate memory for some vulnerable, but the programmer forgot to turn it back. And if you use like a single character, it might take years before memory full, but normally data structures might take months. Okay. Read only, yeah. You can set it up read only or read write. Okay, it's up to you. Read only is mean you set it up like the time tick, system of time, so on so far that you might just want to force the user the management information system to read only. But read write is mean you can read it one for access. Okay. Give me 5 minutes. I need to go to toilet and come back. When I come back, if you have any question, please go. เมื่อวานก็ถ่านหมดว่าจะเปลี่ยนถ่านหน่อยลืมฮะเมาส์ผมใครอีกสไลด์อีกสอบถึงวิกหน้าดีเลย
โอ้ก็เป็นบอกเหตุการณ์แต่ก่อนเราไปกลับกันมีคนสอนที่นี่ได้เราที่ตามนี่คุณรู้ไม่รู้เคยเป็นอะไรไม่คุณตั้งใจอยู่ด้วยนะคุณก็อยู่ป .2 คุณจบได้แค่หลังตื่นมา52ปีอันนี้เป็นเยอะเลยโอ้โหเป็นแค่พวกไม่ได้ไม่กี่โกงเลยเรื่องมันก็ไปมันเก่งแย่นะช่วยกันเป็นอะไรจะรู้เอาคุณทำคือก็เดี๋ยวเอาคือบ้านไปนะที่ทำคือการเปิดของว่าลูกเราก็ไม่โกงไม่ทำที่เขาหลอกไม่มีแบบทำไงอ่ะลองเอาเด็กหมดก็ปรับคุยกัน
หมดแล้วบอกให้รีบกลับมาเมื่อเช้ามาทันนั้นได้พบเท่นหนึ่งแกงถามเพื่อนนะไม่ทันถามเพื่อนเป็นเทคนิคที่ผมใช้อยู่เลยผมใส่ไปใน Google Drive ผม ใช่ผมเรียกทุกคนเรียกความเป็นก่อนอ่ะผมถามจริงผมใช้ชื่อไฟล์ว่า username and password หรือ my username and the password account แล้วข้างในแม่งเขียน scb k bank ทั้ง username password โคตรซัวไปหมดคุณเป็นแฮกเกอร์ถ้าคุณเข้ามาคุณจะเปิดไฟล์ไหนก่อนใช่ไหมมันเป็น psychology พอเปิดกันอะไรขึ้นครับนั่นก็ทริคถูกไหมเสร็จผมก็รู้แล้วว่าผมโดน compromise แต่ตั้งแต่นั้นผมยังไม่เคยโดน compromise นะก็เขาแต่ว่าผมก็ใส่ตัวอันนี้ผมทิ้งไว้เซ็ตแท็กทิ้งไว้คุณสามารถใช้ได้ครับนี่คุณใส่ไปในโน้ตบุ๊กก็ได้โน้ตบุ๊กคุณใช่ไหมเขาคอมเข้าไปยังไงไม่เห็นไฟล์นี้ก่อนเป็นผมก็เปิดไฟล์นี้ก่อนเหมือนกันถูกปะใช่เหมือนสมัยก่อนอันนี้สมัยก่อนผมเขียนซอฟต์แวร์เดี๋ยวนี้ผมไม่เขียนละเด็กรุ่นที่พวกคุณนานๆก็จะมีเขียนซอฟต์แวร์ตัวหนึ่งชื่อ residential program นั่นคือสอนเขียนไวรัสกันปลาให้ตัวมันเองไปเกาะตัวอื่นแต่ว่าไม่ให้ทำอะไรนะเปิดเสร็จก็ไปเกาะไฟล์เปิดเสร็จก็ไปเกาะไฟล์จะทำงานก็ต้องให้คนเปิดเนี่ยผมได้ติดจากไอ้รุ่นพี่คุณจบเอกจาก7 ปี 10 ปีแล้วมันจำไม่ได้มันเอาไฟล์ไปวางในคอมพิวเตอร์แลบสมัยก่อนเขาไม่ได้แลบยังใช้อยู่เหมือนสมัยนี้คุณแม่งใช้โน้ตบุ๊กกันทุกคนเราก็ยังมีคอมพิวเตอร์แลบแล้วคุณรู้ไหมว่ามันล่อยังไงให้คนเปิดไอคอนน่ะมันเป็นรูปโฟลเดอร์ไอคอนเราเซตได้ใช่ไหมชื่อไฟล์ชื่ออะไรว่าวิดีโอคลิปแล้วไปวางไว้คอมพิวเตอร์เป็นแหละแล้วไปวางไว้ที่เดสก์ท็อปไอคอนเป็นรูปโฟลเดอร์แล้วชื่อวิดีโอคลิปชื่อโฟลเดอร์ผมมาถึงคลิปก่อนละอะไรวิดีโอคลิปว่าข้างไหนคลิปไปเสร็จปุ๊บหลังปุ๊บมันติดตัวเองละมันเป็น psychology อย่างหนึ่งไงนี่ไอ้นี่ได้มาจากเด็กรุ่นพี่คุณเลยอ่ะที่ฉลาดมากmachine ใช่ no we cat machine professional people they are of intuition if you want you can download the books for any on the internet I have the copies as well your exam is going to be on 8th is it in the morning or in the afternoon morning yeah normally it's going to be the same time and I'm gonna be in the examครั้งที่แล้วปกติแล้วจากต้องคุมสอบ3 วันซึ่งผมขี้เกียจคุมสอบ10 ปีก็ปกติแล้วถ้าเป็นวิชาที่เราสอบควรจะคุมเองแต่ไม่จำเป็นแต่ต้องคุมสอบ3 วันซึ่งโคตรขี้เกียจคุมสอบเลยผมไม่สนใจผมก็นั่งเปิดดู YouTube กันเลยOkay, for those this morning, don't forget to tell your friend, okay? This morning, one of your friends asked me about how to do the report. So it's going to be at least one topic of the security conference on any days. Okay, then you just join. You can do more. It depends on you. Okay. And once you finish, okay, you can drop that one into the Microsoft team. If the Microsoft team have some difficulty or problem, you can attach the file and message me in Microsoft team.
I have to be or like it
Doesn't matter. No more than 2 pages. Okay, I don't want to read that much. A4. Okay. No more than 5 pages. Okay. It's some. กี่หน้า Okay, no more than 10 pages. I have to read. No minimum. At least 1 page. Okay. No minimum. 1 page. Don't have to read that much. When you graduate, you're going to go and see this kind of the customers as well. Most of the customers, they don't have like deep knowledge. And in the conference, it's quite good for your class. It's not for the afternoon class because you have to know more deep in design. But for your class, if you are talking about, you have to study the knowledge and how to design the product for the market, right? So basically, this two conference is very suitable for your class, pretty much, but not for like software engineering class. They normally like the software. So you basically have to know a lot and know what product or what technology to pick it up for this particular kind of the project or the work that you have to do. But for the software or the electrical engineering, they need to design or do the P2 of the products. Today I will create the assignment on the Microsoft team. And if you have the difficulty to submit it, you can hashtag the file on the message. You just message me on Microsoft team. Yeah, I understand. For the very first time, they asked me to post it into the Go EDU, but after I have tried for many, and many they report back to the programmer already, and we still have problem with the Go EDU. So I stopped Go for Go EDU until they finish to correct all of the bugs. Yesterday, for the community network, we do have the lab. This is we need a software for packet tester. Do you know packet tester? It's the network simulator software. This is just only 200 meg for the software. I want to upload that one. And on the website, they say that I can upload. The maximum is 500 megabytes. I have tried it for 3 days and it's still keeping upload. So at the end, I have to take the thumb drive and ask the student to download the software from my thumb drive. So they still have the bug. And you know, there one thing for the afternoon class. The afternoon class for the last 2 weeks, they got the problem that all their student access have disappeared, so they cannot go to the class at all. So I have to call them and they have to resync it. So Go EDU still have the problem. Yeah, at the first time I want to use Go EDU to submit everything as they asked me to try it. But go back to Microsoft Teams.
Computer level security now. Approximate free channel.มีสามทีมด้วยนะคอมพิวเตอร์เลย
มีสองทีมในสองทีมใช่ไหม
แต่ถ้าเข้าทีมโยงอะไรเนี่ย
ได้เดี๋ยวเพราะว่าถ้ามันสองทีมการที่เข้าทีมถูกแยกทีมที่ตรงแต่สูงแต่ที่เป็นไม่ได้สูงจะเป็นตัว
ได้แล้วอยู่เข้ามาที่ผู้ยื่น
เป็นอะไรที่เป็นภาษา
กันบ้านวางอะไรตัวลงบนของทีมแล้วไม่ได้ส่งเลยเป็นทีม
ส่งเมนทีมของคุณครับ
แต่ว่ามันเลยอยู่เลย
เดี๋ยวเป็นเซตดิวให้ใหม่นะครับ
อะไรคะเกิดแต่ของการบ้านเลยสุดท้ายนะคะไม่เลยคือตอนเราสมัยเข้ารับงานเป็นไอ้ที่ทำ
อะไรอันที่ตั้ง
เรา
แต่
แต่
ว่า
ว่าสุดทำไปแล้วเราอาจารย์อยากทำงานก็เลยส่งไป
โอเคเดี๋ยวผมเข้าไปในไอทีของคุณนะที่เป็นศูนย์อะไรนั่นแหละคุณเอาวันนี้เป็นเมนเฉพาะคลาสคุณจะได้ไปซ้ำคลาสกลางวันเสร็จแล้วเดี๋ยวผมรีเซ็ตให้คุณส่งใหม่ทั้งหมดนะรีเซ็ตใหม่ตั้งแต่การบ้านครั้งที่หนึ่งเลยแล้วคุณสับมิทใหม่ใช่จะได้ไม่แล้วก็ไอดีดีก่อนโอดีอยู่อ่ะผมเจอบั๊กไว้คุณ2 อาทิตย์ที่แล้วผมบอกไงนักเรียนหายไปทั้งคลาสเลยนักเรียนมาเรียนท่านเข้าไม่ได้ต้องรีซิงค์ใหม่เมื่อวานที่ผมพยายามอัปโหลดไฟล์ประมาณ200 เมกเขาให้500 เมกเขาเขียนไว้นะสำหรับแต่ผมว่าแม่งผ่านไป2 วันแม่งอัปโหลดไม่เสร็จทำ30 รอบอัปโหลดไม่ได้โอเคยังไม่ถึงทำต่อตอนเดินเข้าไปในแลบเลยเขาเอาตังไดที่ที่มาคอปปี้กันแบบที่ปกติมันผมว่าเขายังมีบั๊กอยู่แล้วก็ก่อนหน้านั้นถ้ามีคลาสที่ชื่อเหมือนกันแล้วเรียนคล้ายกันนะถ้าเป็น Moodle อ่ะ Moodle ตัวจริงนะคือ Moodle สมัครที่แต่มันจะ combine คลาสได้เข้าใจคำว่า combine ใช่ไหมคือคลาส A คลาส B เนี่ย combine เป็นคลาสใหม่แล้วผมเซตอัพบนคลาสเนี่ยแต่เอา account มาบนคลาสเดียวอันนี้ combine เสร็จพันทั้งคู่เลยมันยังมีบั๊กอยู่อ่ะแต่ก็เดี๋ยวต้องพยายามช่วยเขาใช้แหละจะได้แค่บั๊กกันเรื่อยผมเป็นโปรแกรมเมอร์ขอผมเข้าใจบั๊กมันเกิดได้ตอนนี้ไอ้สับมิสอ่ะผมลองแล้วผมมีบั๊กเยอะเหมือนกันก็เดี๋ยวกลับไปใช้ Microsoft Teams ไม่ต้องห่วงผมให้สับมิสใหม่ได้คำถามอย่างอื่นมีไหมข้อสอบมีอะไรข้อสอบมีโดนเกี่ยวดีนะกางเกงไม่ขาดมันขาดนิดนึงเลยข้อสอบมี multiple choice and written I think I have like 20 multiple choice and 4 or 5 writing and the topic will be covered until next week and all of you will allow one piece of A4 paper write down anything both sides if you can write on the edge if you can and magnifier is okay if you wantแว่นขยายถ้าคุณเขียนเล็กเกินไปก็เอาเข้าไปได้นะ handwriting ฮะเดี๋ยวผมจะเปิดใหม่ให้มันง่ายๆที่บอกทำใหม่หมดเลยน่าจะ4-5ครับ I spend like 45 minutes to finish them so you got 3 hours จริงๆน่าจะให้แค่2 ชั่วโมงพอแล้วขี้เกียจนั่งลง Okay, it's almost done. Okay, let's wrap it up so you can go for the lunch. I'm gonna wait for the order. So for the tools, there are many free software, including the software that is not free, that are not free. That you might find it. But for example, the MIB browser from iReasoning is allow you just to browse it, to monitor. And you can, they not keep the database of the whole asset. Not like the one that you pay. They read the data, they keep it on database, and they build up the logical graphic of your asset. But this one is just to browse the data from specific IP of the device to browse. And you can download if you want. You can use beyond physical, like this one. After you download, you have to import the MIB file. This one is the standard. When you import MIB file, you just click and they will show the object ID. And yeah, of course, you can insert the whole subnet and you might find that someone they are support in Snmp, you can click it in and you can have the data. Okay. Of course, the Snmp version 2, you need the password. You need the password. So when you access, you have to give the password. And in the system, you can set up the password. If you not set it up, basically the password is called PUBLIC. The password is public by standard. Okay. And yeah, that's that. So basically, if you have time, just go allow and download some of the software and search on the net. And if there are some of the server, for example, normal printer is ported, if the admin not set it up properly, you might be able to gain access into the printers as well. Okay, called in the browser. Okay, that's pretty much it for the tools and the Snmp. I don't think I'm going to go for the next topic. I'm going to cover it next week for the next topic, which is next week, being coffee. Boring. Telling you it's going to be boring. So I'm going to come up with some of the tools or software that you can play around. So we're talking about policy and the security. So it's logic and psychology thing to use. So it's boring for me. Okay, I'm gonna stop to stop recording. Okay.